My name is Michael O'Neill, and thank you. I am the co-chair of the New York State Green Party, and right now I have the great honor of introducing for you right now the next Vice President of the United States of America, Cheri Honkala!
My son is sitting right over here, and he wanted to make sure I said, and Guillermo Santos. Yeah, my children have always been very shy. So I want to thank all of you for coming out in the rain tonight. Somebody told me that New Yorkers don't come out in the rain, but you proved them wrong. Let's give yourselves a round of applause. We're looking forward to having some fun this evening, and we're also looking forward to having a discussion about some of the things that are happening in this country. And so right now, I'd like you to put your hands together and give a warm welcome to the award-winning comedian Lee Camp, who has performed on Comedy Central and won several awards. Let's give a warm welcome to Lee Camp.
One more time for Cheri Honkala. Let her hear it. The next vice president. It's incredible to be a part of this, just to be here. Give yourselves a round of applause. How exciting is this, just to come out in the middle of this, I think the weather's appropriate, because that's kind of how the country feels right now, right? It's just all-out chaos, so this is exciting. I'm going to try and, some of you may have seen my act before. Occasionally I use a bad word, and I'm going to try and clean it up a little, but I also saw that one of Dr. Stein's commercials had the word bullshit in it, so I think I'm okay. I think that was the first presidential candidate to have that in a commercial. But it makes sense. You look at what's going on in the country, and it's hard to watch what's going on without going, shit. Like, it's very hard. It's incredible. This is you watch, and you got the two corporate candidates that you're allowed to watch on TV. Those are the only two that apparently exist according to the mainstream media. And you watch it, and you watch this whole process that's been going on for about 7-8 years now, this election, or at least it seems like it, doesn't it? And you watch it, and you just like it's just mind-blowing. It's insane. This gaggle of bobble-headed giggle shits that are running for office, and you look at them and you're like, there's nothing else. There's no one. I mean, we have like 400 brands of toothbrush and like 4 dimensions in the world. I mean, in the universe, and yet apparently only 2 political parties. That's it. I saw a book once that had 435 sexual positions, but 2 political parties. That's it. That's all we're allowed to look at or see. And so it's important to open up the discussion. I mean, between the 2 parties that they talk about on the mainstream media every day, you have one side that essentially thinks climate change doesn't exist, and then you have the Republicans. Like, it's just, right? It's just mind-blowing. And they're also, they're hardly talking about Wall Street or regulating Wall Street. 2008 was the largest crime this country's ever seen, and no one's gone to jail for it. People should have been lit on fire in Times Square, and no one would have complained. Animal rights activists would have been like, yeah, light them up, good call. No one would have complained. Billionaires now, billionaires. The 6 heirs to the Walmart fortune have the same amount of wealth as the bottom 40% of the country. Like, and you don't have to be a genius to realize that top-heavy things collapse. That's how it works. All you have to do is picture Philip Seymour Hoffman riding on the shoulders of Natalie Portman. It doesn't last long, So the richer they've ever been, they're billionaires, and now they're going after, like, teacher benefits. Like, really? Teachers are heroes. Teachers deal with those little shitheads all day long, and they get paid less than the guy at the zoo in charge of making sure the hippos mate. Like, really? And a fair wage should be the easiest to pay in the world. I don't care if you're the worst. I don't care if you're the worst job. I don't care if your job is cleaning up turds out of the corner of the turd factory. If you work full time, you should be able to feed and clothe your kids. First of all, it's a moral thing to do. And secondly, with the size of our kids, none of us want to see them half clothed. None of us want to see a 10-year-old boy's breasts bouncing up and down on a sweaty summer day. Can't we get together as a people and buy that boy some nipple tassels? You know? Can't we do that? Oh, it's insane, and they're going after the billionaires are going after unions too. Which unions have some problems, like any large entities, but unions are also responsible for tiny, forgettable things like a weekend and a 9 to 5 if you got it, and healthcare if you got it, and getting children out of the workplace alone was crucial because they're crappy workers. They don't know what they're doing. They're hitting all kinds of buttons on the factory floor, lopping dudes' arms off. You're like, what do you mean, whoopsie? You've worked here 4 years. Since you were 3, you should have this stuff down by now, right? And so it's just this corporate pillaging of the world that it seems like we've all just accepted, like it's a Black Eyed Peas song, you know? We're like, well, it's gonna be around for a while. Might as well pretend like I like it. What choice do I have? Resistance is futile. So you gotta stand up against it, you know, and then there's the environment, which it doesn't even get talked about in the debates, it seems, and climate change. Climate change, like, it's amazing how no matter how close they say the major effects of climate change are, people don't seem to change. The Republicans, Democrats don't seem to talk about it. Because like 100 years ago, they were like, like 10 years ago, they were like, it's 100 years away. We are screwed in 100 years. And everyone was like, well, I personally will be dead by then. Then they were like, we're wrong, it's 20 years away. And everyone's like, we'll invent giant air conditioners by then. Now they're like, people in California are on fire. And everyone's like, they probably live in a really fiery area. They're probably storing dry stuff in their homes, like old magazines, you know. Don't come banging on my door every time some little crap goes down. Oh, Indonesia's underwater. Well, tell them to get up and move to Outernesia. Really? Just because their little country goes underwater, I gotta stop using plastic bags? And while we're on the topic, do we have to watch every polar bear drift out to sea on a damn ice cube? The dumb animals, move south, you idiots. They can't figure out a game plan the birds figured out. Follow the geese, Magellan. Jeez, you could be in Hawaii right now eating beautiful women with coconuts on their chests. And that's a well-rounded meal. That's meat and fruit on the same plate. You know? Thank you, Lone Clapper. Thank you very much. One person came along for the applause break. I like it. She was like, okay, we're not doing that. All right. So you know, that's what's important about the Green Party. Is talking about the environment is like really, it's not allowed to be talked about in the debates or anything else. And like, I mean, here's a good example. Is like of how well we're doing on this. In 2004, I guess they passed the Clean Water Act, or they changed it and passed. This came out like a year ago or something, a while ago. Since then, it's been violated 500,000 times by companies and factories, meaning we know who they are. We know who's dumping carcinogens in our water. And what do you do when a friend or family member gets cancer? You run the 5K, you wear the pink ribbons, and I'm not going to take that away. I just think we should run the 5K to the factory where they're dumping the crap in the water. Take all the pink ribbons, use those to tie up the CEO. Then take all the change we made in the breast cancer awareness bake sale, put it in the end of a sock, and beat the crap out of the guy, right? You know, nothing excessive. Each of the 5,000 participants would get only one swing of the sock. Nothing excessive. Because we don't think about this stuff, you know, and the amount of garbage and pollution we're creating. And part of the reason that we're creating so much pollution is that our stuff that we designed to break. It's designed to fail. It's designed to go obsolete. You get a cell phone, and 3 weeks later, it's in the Amish Museum of Antiquities. You know, and this has even changed since I was a kid. Like, when I was a kid, my grandmother would pull me aside and be like, see this hutch? Your great-grandfather built this hutch 130 years ago, and your grandfather was born inside this hutch, and your father once fornicated with this hutch, and one day this will be your hutch. You might want to wash it first. But now you buy something at IKEA, it's made from cardboard, scotch tape, and hope, and then like 6 weeks later it explodes into 1,000 pieces, and the pieces turn to dust and blow away like a bad guy at the end of an Indiana Jones film. So we end up with just immense piles of garbage. There's a patch of plastic floating around the Pacific the size of Texas, and it's got a higher IQ too, and it's just floating around on the Pacific. So we got to think about this stuff. And, you know, the environment, and of course the war in Afghanistan that's been going on forever and that it isn't even talked about. Apparently war now is like a bad haircut. For a week, you're like, this is awful. And then you're like, whatever, it'll work out. I mean, it's insane. It came out 3 years ago that we're funding both sides of the war in Afghanistan. We're paying the Taliban to let our trucks through so that we can fight the Taliban. We're losing a game of solitaire. Really, we're playing a game of Twister alone. No wonder a scrappy group of insurgents in torn clothes and sandals are able to compete with the most powerful military in the world. They have us on their side. That's how they're doing it. However, to the credit of Obama and the Pentagon, they recently realized that too many civilians were dying from the drone aircraft attack. So they did something about it. They changed the definition of the word civilian. And you tell that to anyone with an intellect above that of an eggplant parmesan, and they're like, you can't just change the definition of a word. But no, if you're president, you can. You can just walk around being like, lunch is now dinner, and dinner's now breakfast, and a premature ejaculation is now a just right ejaculation. You can just run around doing that, you know? But here's the thing, though. So they changed it so that anyone in a target area of military age is a combatant. You don't even have to know you're fighting. You get to be a 95-year-old trying to figure out how to put falafel in your mouth, and you're a combatant. But that means it also applies to us. It's a word. Civilian. It's a word, so it applies to us. So if you're at an airport by a Marine who's got the semi-automatic on his chest, you're now a combatant. You thought you were just an accountant, you know, sitting at Cinnabon, working on Cinnabon number 2 and love handle number 7. But no, you're a warrior getting ready to wage battle with your Cinnabon of glory. Really, it's insane what's going on over there. And of course, we'll give away all our rights to be protected from terrorism. Anything to be protected from terrorism. But twice as many Americans die each year from peanut allergies as from terrorism. So you see where I'm going with this. We need to work equally hard to protect ourselves from peanuts, all right? We need a peanut alert chart. If someone leaves a bag of peanuts unattended, we got to blow that shit up. We do. We need to drop Marines into the planter's compound to shoot Mr. Peanut in the face, all right? And that goes, too, for anyone who wants to wear a monocle or a top hat, all right? You want to dress like a peanut, we will treat you like a peanut. All right? No, but the truth is, the reason we're here is because people are getting sick of this shit. People are tired of it. In an overall sense, I think people are tired of greed over good, of profitable pollution over people, of war for wealth, of the welfare of average citizens. People are tired of this shit, and people are standing up in a lot of different ways. This is, in my opinion, you know, and I'll let Dr. Stein speak for herself, but in my opinion, this is one part of an important revolution, a mental revolution of people changing, all right? Whether it's Occupy, whether it's the Indignados in Spain, whether it's the students in Quebec, it's a mental revolution. It's a change, and it's not going to be stopped by police barricades or, you know, pepper spray. Pepper spraying us is like throwing water on gremlins. The more you do it, the more show up. You know, this is a mental revolution. And people, they attack it in the media by saying things like, oh, it's only young people that care about this stuff. It's only young people standing up like that. First of all, it's not. But secondly, even if it were, who should give a shit about this stuff? Who has to sit around in this for the next 70 years, eating the mutated fish, drinking the tainted water, watching the fetid reality shit on TV, create a nation of malignant imaginations? It's us, all right? It's young people. It's who has to sit around in this rancid bathwater, twiddling our thumbs and flicking our ding-dongs and going, remember back when we could have changed things? We should have, done something. And then our kids are going to ask us, where were you when we could have changed them? They'd gone a different path. And what are you going to say? Well, there was this video game where you slingshot these birds at these towers, and I got pretty good. Hey, guys, I'm Lee Camp. Enjoy the rest of your moments here. I'd love to keep in touch. I'm at leecamp.net, and I think we are bringing Cheri Honkala back on. So one more round of applause for Cheri Honkala.
Let's hear it for Lee Camp. The next person I'd like to bring to the stage is somebody that I have on my iPod, George Martinez, a hip-hop activist and artist and organizer. Let's bring him up here. That's you.
Hello.
Mic check.
Nothing.
You want to tell them all day?
That's about Wolfie.
And what else? Power to the people?
Power to the people.
Yeah. Yeah.
Check.
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 Check, Mike.
Mike. Oh, hello.
Well, good evening, ladies and gentlemen. My name is George Martinez. Peace. First and foremost, I'm from Brooklyn, New York, so if you are from New York, yes, you could give yourself a round of applause. We made it in the rain. Somebody said that earlier. That's absolutely true. I was thinking about it as I was coming, like, wait a second, a New Yorker would have not came out. But we're organizers and activists. This year we had an opportunity to be here in New York City as part of Occupy Wall Street. The Village Voice did a cover story, and they had a conversation around whether or not we'll get involved in electoral politics. I happen to be that candidate running for the U.S. House of Representatives in New York 7th Congressional District at that point. We were calling our electoral direct action bum rush to vote. Now, I'm not here particularly to be part of endorsing presidential candidates, although I stand in solidarity with every person who stands up and organizes to make their voices heard, because it really matters that we need more people in our country positively participating in the electoral political system. But I also know that in solidarity, we have an obligation as American citizens to make sure that every voice is heard, especially from well-qualified candidates. And when there's a presidential candidate who is on at least 85% of the ballots nationally, it is ridiculous and it is a sham that they cannot participate in the presidential debates. I remember growing up, a billionaire was participating in some debates. His name was Ross Perot. He wasn't a major party candidate. Can we lower this just slightly? Yeah, because trust that. I probably don't even need it. Yes, just this one. Yeah, just low. Yeah. Well, indeed. So we're here tonight. This is my wife, Clara Guerrero Martinez.
Check. How y'all doing?
And let's have a little fun. We had a lot of talking this year, a lot of politicking, a lot of suit wearing. But I have been a hip hop ambassador for the United States of America. I have been hip hop as the occupying force of the hood since 1973. I was born in '74. Grew up with this. We make this ours. We don't conform to pre-existing conditions and party affiliations. We are nonpartisan. We are about finding people who are about solutions. We are about bum rushing the vote. We are about organizing with greens, everybody in betweens, and the people on the top, but we coming from the bottom. This is hip hop and we won't stop.
Yeah.
Mr. Tim, let's take him to the top.
Yeah.
Yes.
Let's go.
Yeah. This was a song we had an opportunity to do called Occupation Freedom. The hip hop anthem. Turn up the music a little
Come
bit.
on.
I take money from the rich and invest it in the poor. Been a long time coming, time we settle the score. You do it for your people, but I do it for you all. I got mines covered and I never let them fall. When the real hits the fan, who you gonna call? Not Ron Paul, more like the honorable Rhythm Martinez with a team of superheroes. Walk throughout the land, find my team of super zeros. Add it up, come back with negative indictments of a system that's stomped out. Positive enlightenment. Occupy the streets, it's occupy the nation, but don't occupy your mind with false occupations. Occupy the position where your team falls short. Stand with the accused by occupying the court. Occupy all airwaves and spaces in between. Occupy the undercover and the overseen. But when occupying ain't enough, then we need a next tactic. Combine the global block man to see what happens. We do it for the people, we do it for the movement. Occupy America, that's what we doing.
Occupation, that's what they all yelling, but it's gangsta nation of the bankers that be selling our future while the politicians sit back thinking about the next move to scrape the next millions
off the backs of our children.
Yeah, I'm wrong for telling the story so cool that it's never selling. No more lies, occupying time in the minds of my sisters while we strive to survive and realize our lives are pictures of our future. Lights are dimmer underneath the shadow they cast and leaving us without dinner. While we all gotta be strapped against the wall with no relief in sight, that's why we stressing to ball. Yeah, we bring heat tonight. You'll hear the call, and my suggestion is you heed the call.
Occupy government, ain't no either or, cause we are the ones we've been waiting for. I'm free, not defined by what I have, but what I give to my community and humanity. I'm free, I know my identity, and really don't care what you think of me. I'm free, living my dreams, roll with no fears of impossibilities, cause I know they ain't there. I'm free and already occupying the streets. This way, nothing ever could be taken from me. I'm free. If you free tonight, say, oh yeah.
Oh,
If you free tonight, say, all right.
all right.
I'm free, not defined by what I have, but what I give to my community and humanity. I'm free, I know my identity, and really don't care what you think of me. I'm free, living my dreams, roll with no fears of impossibilities, cause I know they ain't there. I'm free and already occupying the streets. This way, nothing ever could be taken from us.
Come on, yeah.
Yes, yes, yes. There's a song called Occupy 2.0. It is our mission to inspire New Yorkers to take back our city. Next year we have a mayoral election open. Next year we have 19 open city council seats. It's our opportunity to bum rush the vote and establish an agenda of human rights in New York City. Yeah, this is how we're gonna do it. We're gonna make this happen block by block and city by city. Grassroots organizing, yeah. Stand up. We gon' ride tonight, tonight. Stand up. Yeah.
We gon' ride tonight.
Yeah.
Tonight.
And all day, all week, occupy all streets. And all day, all week, occupy all streets. And all day, all week, occupy all streets.
Ride tonight.
Yeah.
Tonight.
Put my foot down, take a look around. See this land is changing. Open your eyes, no surprise, the movement is not waiting. No more hesitation, the hood's in occupation. Global block got the equation for the brand new nation. Systemic shock cause fusion from minds under illusion. Look what we've been choosing, fat raps over solution. Fat tracks of prostitution, sing songs of revolution. My ministry is to stop pollution in the airways, cause confusion. De mi gente comunidad, unidad, libertad. Siempre estamos luchando in the barrio. Occupamos means we taking over. Occupation, freedom soldier, call my people to the square. Yeah, yeah, yeah. I'm a man, I ain't no primate. Tired of cops that violate. Got lyrics that annihilate. Leave your head in a high state. Unify, we vibrate, but we don't flip to crime states. That's why we ain't getting irate. That's why we moving sideways.
I rise up from under.
Yeah.
I roar out like thunder. I got a lightning bolt inside my throat, and we waste number. We do this for the love. Others do this for whatever. We'll work the block, we'll skip the top, but we will stop, no never.
Yeah.
At the dinner table, grandmother style. Pass around the food, break bread and stay a while. Build discussion, lead to action. Make it jack, not gonna happen.
When we do
quality control in the hood for the soul.
Bring it back
to my sisters at. Too much talk, not enough facts. Stick it to your head like we with tracks. I facilitate DJ stacks. We can break it down, steal this back. Ain't no problem we can't attack. Occupying
children. Yeah, we gon' ride tonight. We gon' ride tonight. Yeah, we gon' ride tonight. Stand up. Yeah.
We gon' ride tonight.
Yeah. And
Stand
all
up.
week, occupy all
gon'
streets.
ride
And all day, all week, occupy all streets. And all
Stand
day, all
up.
week, occupy
We
all
gon'
streets.
ride
And all day, all week,
tonight.
occupy all streets. And all
Stand
night.
up.
Yeah, yeah. Yeah,
Stand up.
this is how it is. We love hip hop and we love our people so much. We want to end Stop and Frisk in New York City. We don't want no more lip service. It should be a matter of no. Let's bring the Nancy Reagan slogan back to Stop and Frisk. Just say no.
Stand up.
Yeah, but we gotta survive. We have to survive. I believe in building parallel autonomous institutions to help us solve, deliberate our local community problems while we dominate all political apparatus around us. We will survive. Yeah.
We'll survive in this world of changes and rearranges. I'll be alright. Oh yes,
Oh, yes.
Yeah.
I will survive in this world of changes and rearranges. I'll be alright.
Yeah.
Oh,
Yeah.
yes. Oh, yes. Oh.
They smoke too much, joke too much, got love for them though, cause the God I trust. We out the bus, marvelous, flows ridiculous, they not getting us, and still some heads wanna turn me to dust. 5-car stud, royal flush, cash in the chips that we bounce in the rush, and then I'm out in the GXC with C's plus when the life is twisted. Pulp Fiction, deep like the ocean, y'all fish in. Why block when there's so many women in yo, why glaze mine when you should get to living? I've been in tight spots. Stink box, think we getting crushed? Think not. Unstoppable, lyrically vital, so many organizers while we watching you. Yeah.
We'll survive.
Come on. Wow.
In this world of changes and rearranges, I'll be alright.
Come on, y'all. Oh, yes. Oh, yes. Oh. I
We'll survive
What we're gonna do?
in this world of changes and rearranges. I'll be alright. Oh yes, oh yes, oh. All we got is unity.
Unity.
Represent community.
Community.
All we got is unity.
Unity.
Represent the family.
My family.
All we got is unity.
Unity.
Represent community.
Community.
All we got is unity.
Unity.
We pray for humanity.
Yes. Y'all asking why she can speak like what the heck she not from the streets. I pay no mind, that don't qualify me. I speak cause the message be spoken to me. Ain't who I be or what I got. Make me hot, it's the call in, I can't stop. Got no choice to do it or not. Work despite it all, trying to find my own spot. Wanted answer by millions souls for hire. Working no time to retire. Mind selling wires with desires to play with fire. It's love the higher. What happens when your spirit is tired? Souls admired when we come to inspire. No need to carry them loads on your back. Justify the reasons why you still is trapped.
We'll survive in this world of changes and rearranges. I'll be alright. Oh yes, oh yes, oh.
Yeah.
We'll survive.
Come on.
In this world of changes and rearranges. I'll be alright.
Yeah.
Oh yes, oh yes, oh.
All we got is unity.
Come on.
Represent community.
All we got is unity.
Represent the family.
Yeah, yeah.
All we got is unity. Represent community.
Community.
All we got is unity.
Unity.
Pray for humanity.
Now this is hip hop. This is not rap industry. This is value-driven, positive messaging. The ability for Africa Band Party to call elements together and transform the South Bronx and become the organic globalizer. We will survive. We will survive. We will survive. Now we gotta do it for our city. Yeah. There's a little group called Guitar Me from Occupy Wall Street. They participating in this song with us right here. We shooting a video with Guitar Me. Hopefully have like 100 guitarists marching from Philly. Yeah.
Look into my eyes.
But it's on our terms.
Yes, we can, indeed, but on our terms. Look into our eyes, hope is crystallized. Got love for my city with my fist in the sky. Look into our hands, work is in the plans.
Freedom on my people to take back the land.
We growing food on rooftops to make sure the hunger stops. But if we liberate the soil, we run into cops. The blue walls are silent, strutting this fence with violence. Too many kids are going to sleep to the sound of silence while their parents are learning to believe in the liars. MK Ultra tampering with your wires. How we don't see the plans to divide us all around. We still can't unify till after the beat down. Rallies and protests is what we good at. But long-term commitment to taking the hood back. Not so much cause you gotta get yours, I gotta get mine. We out to lunch on the divine, acting like swine. Get injected with a vaccine, now your DNA is hacked in. Powers that be mad cause I'm rapping. Truth to power, no acting. The streets is gritty, commence with hands clapping. Time to remix our city. Look into our eyes, hope is crystallized. Got love for my city with my fist in the sky. Look into my hands, work is in the plans. Freedom on my people to take back the land. Look into my eyes, hope is crystallized. Got love for my city with our fist in the sky. Look into my hands, work is in the plans. Freedom on my people to take back the land. What? Yeah. Take back the land. Take back the land. Eminent domain, all that open, vacant lots. Back to urban farming initiatives. Let's go.
Our city's agenda is progressive for the babies, living wages and equal pay for the ladies. 99% giving 100 all the time. The rising price of rent, our families running all the time. While some lords get tax breaks to keep getting richer. Whole families going to sleep without dinner. Got more vacant apartments than there are homeless. More cops than teachers, more banker bonuses. We got to turn the situation around before the OGs can't be found out in the jello underground. The time is now, state our vision clear and loud. Gotta be more than just a saying, we young, black and proud.
Look into my eyes, hope is crystallized. Got love for my city with my fist in the sky. Look into my hands, work is in the plans. Freedom of my people to take back the land. Look into my eyes, hope is crystallized. Got love for my city with my fist in the sky. Look into my hands, work is in the plans. Freedom of my people to take back the land. Yeah, take back the land.
Take back the land, 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 take back the land,
Yeah.
take back the land. Come on, yeah.
Yes,
Yeah.
yes.
Yes, we can. Look into my eyes.
Thank you very much. In conclusion, we will leave you with this final message. We are the streets.
How y'all feeling?
And the crazy thing is, I campaigned like this too, in a suit, and we shot music videos in the projects, cause we believe in all day, all week. That's how we get down. We are the streets, we are the sound. Yeah.
We are the streets now. We are the life. We are the party. We are the night. We are the streets now. We are the life. We are the party. We are the night.
You must be out your mind, out your brain, out your area, can't contain. Sounding like you walk the chain. Protest rap, I'ma change the game. Tweak your rappers, sound so lame. Y'all the type, change your lane. Step up wrong and catch a sprain. My situation is tight.
Yo, here it is, here it ain't. Step apart in the paint, singing songs of liberation, occupation, freedom nation. I be sipping, also praising. Y'all be talking, anxious raising. You can talk to the breeze, sound of leaves when we leave.
We are the streets now.
We are the life, we are the party, we are the night. We are the streets now, we are the life. We are the party, we are the night. Now let me see your hands up. Now let me see your hands up.
Yeah, come on now.
Now let me see your hands up, hands up, hands up. Now let me see your hands up.
Yeah.
We are the streets now, we are the life. We are the party, we are the night. We are the streets now, we are the life. We are the party, we are the night. Now the bass is pumping, your heart is thumping. You feel the rush of the rushing stuff. Here we go now, gotta focus energy. Spirit of life, like a tree, only thing that matters is family. Deeper words there'll never be. Deep like the ocean or the sea. Do the math, what do you see? Global block up on TV. Everywhere you look, you'll see the
Now
team.
the bottles are popping, the flows are rocking. We are hip hopping, you are not stopping. So play
play your part and I play mine.
You're bad, you don't see the sign. Transitioning of the time, you see the hood, we gonna ride. Against the crimes of the banksters
And all these corporate gangsters.
Mike's milking, Joe Funk King, go the block and run every
We
day.
are the streets now, we are the life. What? We are the party, we are the night. Woo. We are the streets now, we are the life. Come on, we are the party, we are the night. Now let me see your hands up. Now let me see your hands up, hands up, hands up.
Now let me see your
Hands up, hands up, hands
Now
up.
let me see your
Hands up, hands up,
Yeah.
hands up. We are the streets now, we are the life. Woo. We are the party, we are the night. We are the streets now, we are the life. We are the party, we are the night. Now let me see your hands up.
Yes,
Now
thank
let
you,
me
ladies
see
and
your
gentlemen.
hands up. Thank you, ladies
Round
and
of
gentlemen.
applause for my family, Clara
Yes.
Guerrero,
Thank y'all.
Salara.
Thank you.
My name is George Martinez. Twitter, hola George. Stay tuned, be building with us, represent all day. Thank you, Jill Stein. Thank you, Cheri. Thank you, Green Party. Solidarity all day, all week. Peace.
Let's hear it one more time. You know, so Jill and I, from now on, you know, when the press asks us what's in our iPod, we're going to say George Martinez, right? We're going to lift up that positive music because art and culture can be used in a very powerful way. And both George and his wife have been out here on the road spreading good messages across this entire country, and we need to lift up music like that. Let's hear it one more time. Something else I'd like to lift up right now is the Green Party New York City .org. I think is it .org? GreenPartyNYC.org. Okay. Now, you know, I had to have a little fun here because I live on Mutter Street. And this is our music on Mutter Street. Let me hear it from Liz and Guillermo over here. You know, we just can't be held down when we hear good music. So first of all, my name is Cheri Honkala, and I'm the very first formerly homeless mother that's a single mother running for one of this country's highest offices, Vice President of the United States of America. And these are two reasons that I'm doing it. You know, this guy was missing his mama this week. And so, you know, don't tell anybody this, but I let him come to New York City and see his mama and skip school today. And the thing is you can do that when you have a mentally gifted child who gets straight A's in everything since the beginning of time. And this young man, when the press asks him, when's the very first time you were arrested, he always tells the truth and says, when I was in my mother's stomach. You know, maybe that's why he is the way he is today. You know, I was about 9 months pregnant, and we were trying to talk about poverty, hunger, and homelessness in this country, and I was in the back of a paddy wagon with my stomach going up and down as we were handcuffed to a church pew in Utah. But I've been traveling around the country and, you know, have been absolutely devastated at some of the things that I've seen. For 25 years, I've been traveling every single road, from native reservations to housing projects to homeless shelters. I've been helping folks set up tent cities, taking over abandoned properties, housing families. And I thought, well, perhaps I was going to get some respite from some of this on the campaign trail. But you know that woman from Harvard, Dr. Jill Stein, she ended up sharing the jail cell with me in Philly right after they announced me running for vice president. And, you know, I just came off of coming from Kentucky and West Virginia. I just came from looking at mountaintop removal, the killing of our mountains and our planet. I just came from hearing stories about how people are barely surviving on no more than $200 or $300 a month, from listening to families talk about people dying from cancer as a result of the pollutants in our water and in our air. And I just came from also seeing the amazing growth of beautiful young people across this entire country who are pissed off and ready to fight. You know, one of the things that struck me when I was in Kentucky pulling the austerity wagon, right, Carol? You were there too. You know, he had this great idea that we would do something simple in Kentucky during the debates, because we weren't allowed into the debates, and that's that we would get this austerity wagon, and that I would help a doctor and a police officer and a mail carrier pull this huge wagon through the streets of Kentucky. Well, one of the things that we didn't think about is hills in Kentucky. So I'd been worried because I've been on the campaign trail and haven't been able to get into the gym. But I think pulling the wagon of austerity through Kentucky really helped do something about that. But we have been doing all that we possibly can with all of you across this country to bring attention to this very important political race for president and vice president on the Green Party in this country. Because this is the political party that's going to build, and this is the political party that is going to change what the United States of America looks like. And it's a political party that represents my friends that are sitting in prison right now unfairly for little drug crimes because we refuse to legalize marijuana. It is a political party that represents every single color in the rainbow. It is a political party that will never agree to deporting anybody that is a resident of this country. And it is a political party that has been a pioneer in uplifting the most sacred thing in the world, our air, our water, and Mother Earth. Now, I didn't hear about those gangsters talking about issues pertaining to the drug war and how our young people are dying across this country because they can't get access to recovery programs. I didn't hear about police brutality. I didn't hear about what's happening in Gaza. I didn't hear about the closing of schools and the push towards privatization. And I didn't hear about mountaintop removal. Well, damn it, these are the issues you're going to hear about from Dr. Jill Stein and Cheri Honkala. And we've been putting our heart and soul into this, and we are so thankful for your help. It is only candidates like Jill and I and others that run for political office on the Green Party, because we don't have those millions of dollars yet. We're going to have them in 4 years from now, though, aren't we? Because we're going to get that 5%, aren't we? So we've been doing our regular thing, Jill and I and our wonderful handlers. Let's hear it for Kate and Alex here. You know, we're two strong women that are a handful to handle. But, you know, Jill and I have been averaging our average 2 to 3 hours a night of sleep. And yesterday, I think it was yesterday, maybe it was the day before, we did our regular travel, not in our fancy bus or our fancy planes, where we took some Green Party members, drove us an hour and a half to meet the next set of Green Party members that drove us for the next hour and a half. And then we got on that thing that people still ride, a train. And then we rode the train to get to our first event. And then we went to our second and third event, and then guess what? We got back on the first journey of the first event, the first ride, and then, you know, got on a plane. But you get the idea. But that's how we do it in the Green Party. But I'm very excited to be here tonight. I'm very excited to be here with all of you. I know many of you worked hard to get Jill and I on the ballot. I know many of you have, you know, given up your last dollar, and we're going to ask you to give up your last dollar again tonight. You know, this is probably the only political campaign. I'm sure that, you know, the two guys that are running for presidency have, you know, slept a little better than we perhaps have, and haven't given up their own, you know, dollars and become even more downwardly mobile running for office. But that's what we do when we believe in something. And we believe in all of you here tonight, and we want to thank you for that. So we know the days are getting short, where we've only got a few weeks left. And Guillermo, this wonderful boy here, he's going to let Mama continue to go, because we know that November 6th, I'm going to come home, and November 7th, and, you know, we're going to spend some good time running around the White House, right? And then I just want to say that with these few weeks that are left, we need you to put your all into it. We need you to go and put signs in your own windows. We need you to draw them. We need you to buy some signs. We need you to get on social media and bother the hell out of everybody in America and let them know that this is the party that they need to vote for. And you need to engage even more in those debates, those wonderful debates that are taking place on Facebook. You know the argument around the spoiler. Well, again, my response is you can't spoil something that's rotten. And this is the only political party that doesn't take money and never will take money from the corporations or the banks. So get off the pot and go with what's right. My little guy and many other children across America are counting on us. History is being made. There's no going back. The Green Party is growing in numbers across this country, and we are going to have the biggest political party, and we're going to represent real power in this country, and we're going to take it back. Thank you very much. You know, but as Emma said, I don't want to be if you can't dance, I don't want to be a part of your revolution. So we're so we're going to have a lot of fun as we go along. But right now, I want to introduce a woman who I've been traveling around this country right now. We've been trying to lift each other up when they keep pushing us down the stairs, when they keep locking us out of the debates. Somebody who I've had the pleasure of sharing a paddy wagon with, and someday the pleasure of being in the White House with, Dr. Jill Stein, for President of the United States of America, the Green Party.
Thank you.
Thank you all so much. Thank you all for being here. Thank you to Don Carlin, to George Martinez. Thank you for your awesome work. Thanks for everybody who made this happen tonight. Thanks to the New York Green Party. This is what democracy sounds like, looks like, laughs like, loves like. Thank you all for making this happen here tonight. And this really is a historic moment, and it's been a great night. I'm not going to make it too long, but I just want to say a few things because it is such an amazing journey that we've been on, and I can't think of a better person to go from the jailhouse to the White House with than Cheri Honkala. And we're not just going to go from the jailhouse to the White House. We're going to turn the White House into a greenhouse, and the world will be better for it. I thought this campaign was going to be like the most scary, divisive, ugly election I had ever been a part of, and I've run a bunch of times, and it's always been, it's always been right out there, kind of like, how dare you dare to run? We always hear a little bit of that. And I thought this would be like spoiler on steroids in this campaign, but it's actually been exactly the opposite. It's been like handing out candy at Christmas or Kwanzaa or Hanukkah, in fact. There are 90 million voters out there right now who are voting with their feet by saying they are not going to vote for Barack Obama. They are not going to vote for Mitt Romney. We just need to get the word out that they do have someone to vote for. And it is all about getting that word out, because who would have thought in their right minds that the people of Tahrir Square or Tunisia were going to turn politics on its head in the course of 2 to 3 weeks after 40 years of an entrenched dictatorship? If they could do it in 2 weeks, we can do it in 4 weeks. But seriously, there are 36 million students and recent graduates who are basically indentured servants out there. You'd think that students and the younger generation must be public enemy number one for all the bandwidth that they are getting in this election. How much do we exactly hear Mitt Romney and Barack Obama talking about ending student debt, which is what we're going to do, making public higher education free, which is what we're going to do, ensuring that everyone has a job, putting an end to unemployment in this country, creating 25 million jobs, and a Green New Deal to permanently put an end to unemployment. That's what we're going to do. And while we're at it with those 25 million jobs through the Green New Deal, we not only jumpstart a real recovery, not go back to that same old Wall Street baloney, you know, an economy for the 1%, the hype that's not a real economy, it's a financialized fake economy. We're going to create a real local economy that puts people first, an economy that works for everyday people, and it actually makes wars for oil obsolete because it creates green energy right here at home. And of course, it puts an end to climate change, which is the other thing we got to do, because as you know, climate change isn't that thing 100 years from now, or 50 years from now, or 10 years from now. It's happening right now, far faster than even the most optimistic science predicted, or I should say than even the most pessimistic science predicted. It's far worse. Even that pessimistic science is proving far too optimistic, which is why we need to declare a national state of emergency and enact the Green New Deal right now. And for people who say, you know, oh no, how could we? You know, how could we stand up and actually vote for a third party? How can you do that? So let me back up and say we all need to be in this election like political therapists and help our friends who are in an abusive political relationship break up with that abuser and get their lives back on track. Because, you know, people go around and they give the excuses of that political abuser. It's like, oh, he really loves me in his heart. I know he does. He didn't mean to take away my job and my home and my college education and my credit worthiness and all the rest. You know, he didn't mean it. It's just that, you know, the Republicans made him do it. It'll be better next year. Or it was my addiction. You know, it was that addiction, not in this case to some substance, but to that money, you know, from the PACs and the super PACs. So we can help our friends out by doing a little reality test with them and actually clarifying that there's a difference here between the walk and the talk. Now that it's election time, we're hearing all that warm and friendly talk again, you know, about how, well, we're all in this together, and, well, it's really getting better. Just hang in there a little bit longer. Well, it's true. If you are a CEO at General Motors or with Goldman Sachs, it is getting better. If you're in the 1%, it's getting quite a bit better because corporate profits and CEO salaries and bonuses have never been better. But for ordinary working people, well, actually, we're kind of accelerating in the wrong direction, under Democrats as under Republicans. And when people say they're worried about wasting your vote, you know, well, the truth is to go into the poll, into the voting booth, and to vote, to pull the lever for either corporate-sponsored candidate, basically just gives them a mandate for 4 more years of Wall Street rule. That is the definition of throwing away your vote. And you know, sometimes a little bit of reality testing helps when people are in abusive relationships. Sometimes it actually helps to sit them down and just run through the laundry list as quickly as you can. Wall Street bailouts, $700 billion under George Bush, but $4.5 trillion in dollars already dispersed and another $16 trillion in zero-interest loans given away to Wall Street. So the Wall Street bailouts went ballistic under Barack Obama. They did not get better. And in fact, there's another one going on right now that you may have heard about, this third quantitative easing. It's the 4th bailout for Wall Street. Enough already. It's time to break up the big banks and bail out the students instead. $40 billion a month is what they're spending now. $40 billion a month to keep bailing out the big banks that only get bigger Too big to fail, too big to jail, more of the same, time to put an end to it. At $40 billion a month, we could have every student bailed out in the next 2 years with this unlimited bailout going on right now. So that's what we need to do with that quantitative easing. Same thing on, the declining wages, the offshoring of our jobs. How about those free trade agreements that Bill Clinton gave us, expanded under Barack Obama, including with this latest Trans-Pacific Partnership? It's time to turn those free trade agreements, which are free if you're a corporation, but they're very expensive if you are a human being or the planet. It's time to turn those free trade agreements into fair trade agreements. That's what we need and what we're going to do. On the attacks on Medicare and Social Security, that's actually what got me into this race when I heard a year ago that Barack Obama was putting Medicare and Social Security and Medicaid on the chopping block as the solution to the debt ceiling crisis. I said, oh my God, thank heavens, there is a Green Party which is alive and well at the national level, and we are not going to let that go unchallenged. We are the only voice as Greens that are actually standing up for Medicare and Social Security. And just watch, after this election, if we are not in the White House, they are going to be going after Medicare and Social Security. The president has refused to say that he's not. So it's pretty clear what's on the chopping block here. And we are going to be making hay out of that because there is no excuse for that. Social Security is not broke, and Medicare is not broke. All we need to do is raise that cap on Social Security, and the way to fix Medicare is by making it Medicare for all. That's how we're going to fix it. That is the only thing that's really broken about Medicare, is that it hasn't been expanded yet. Because what we need is not a sick care system, and that's basically what we have right now. We don't have health care, we have sick care, and it's hard to even get that sick care. But sometimes you do need sick care, and that's what Medicare for All will do. And by the way, with Medicare for All, we can bring down that national debt every bit as much as they are doing through austerity. What would you rather have, Medicare for all or austerity? What's the way to pay down our debt? Medicare for all, obviously, no brainer. So how about it? And just a couple other little things to reality check. The expanding war, you know how this was going to be the peace president, but unfortunately, why did we withdraw from Iraq? To go into Afghanistan is one reason, and the Iraqis is the other. That's right. And the other reason is George Bush set the date of withdrawal with an agreement that basically ended immunity for U.S. soldiers. So how do you like that? It was George Bush who forced the hand of Barack Obama to bring the troops home from Iraq. So what we need to do now is bring all the troops home from Iraq and Afghanistan and the bases all around the world and bring back those hundreds of billions of dollars to what we need to do here. That's true security, is bringing those troops home. And we need to cut that military budget in half. It's been doubled over the past 10 years. Did we get to be twice as secure? I don't think so. With all that blowback going on around the Middle East, it's pretty clear. Dropping bombs on weddings and funerals from drones is not a good way to win the hearts and minds of the Middle East. We need an international policy. We need a foreign policy based on international law and human rights and diplomacy. And the first step is to downsize those troops and bring them home and our war dollars home. I'll just say a few more words about that Green New Deal because it really is our ticket out of these twin emergencies, the unemployment emergency and the climate emergency. These are truly emergencies. We should have nothing less than a Marshall Plan. This is what a Manhattan Project really ought to look like. During the Second World War, you may have heard, or maybe you were there, they actually converted car factories into bomber factories to run the war. Well, now it's time to convert those bomber factories into solar factories and wind factories and to solve this real emergency now in a war on climate change. So these are things that the American people support. And one last thing, the Green New Deal, it's not only a win for jobs, a win for climate, a win for making wars for oil obsolete. It's also a win for our health because doing what's right for the climate means a healthy food system with local, organic, fresh food, you know, like your mother always told you, this is how you get healthy. It's a transportation system, a public, energy-efficient, clean energy transportation, including safe bike paths and safe sidewalks so we can walk and bike to school and work and to college. Because once you eat the right food and you start getting active, and it gives us pollution prevention because the Green New Deal means we have green energy, not all this stuff spewing carbon and other terrible things for our health and our water supply and our food supply and all that. You know, it means pollution prevention. It means cleaning up the air, keeping our water clean. It means not exhausting our water supplies with this fracking that's being given the thumbs up by the Obama administration and the Cuomo administration. It means no to any new carbon sources, including fracking, which is good for our water, and to say no to fracking is good for our water and good for our health and good for our air and climate. So the Green New Deal is also, it is the health care system that we can't buy spending $2 trillion a year on this sick care system. $2 trillion, yet 75% of those dollars is being spent on the treatment of diseases that are preventable at a tiny fraction of the cost. So this saves us big time on sick care expenses that we don't need to have. So it's an all-around win-win. The agenda of the Green Party and our campaign is an all-around win-win, and one of the biggest wins about it is that this is what the American people are actually clamoring for in poll after poll. We actually have majority support. We don't just have the power of truth and justice and real road-tested solutions like the New Deal that actually got us out of the Great Depression, instead of more of this trickle-down voodoo economics that just gets us into more depression. These are solutions that actually work. So what we've got on our side is not only all the right stuff, for once, we actually have public opinion on our side as well. And as Alice Walker says, the biggest way people give up power is by not knowing they have it to start with. Well, we know we've got it, and we're going to use it. And that's what our campaign is all about. It's about turning this politics of fear that's been told us we don't dare stand up into the politics of courage, because that's what has always led us forward. A social movement. And the politics of courage is what's alive and well out there on the streets right now, from the democracy revolutions in the Middle East to the Occupy protests all across this country, and the eviction blockades, and the blockades against the Keystone Pipeline going strong in East Texas right now, and the Chicago teachers strike, and the student strikes to stop tuition hikes, in fact, to push for free public higher education, which is what we're calling for. So that courage is alive and well out on the streets, and what we're doing as an independent third political party, an alternative party, we are bringing that politics of courage into the voting booth. Because when you have a social movement on the ground together with an independent political party that can drive that agenda forward and into the public discourse, that's when transformational change becomes unstoppable. So, as you know, we've already made history in getting on the ballot for 85% of voters and in winning federal funding, federal matching funds in this campaign as a first. Thank you for that. So now we have an incredible opportunity in front of us. You know how they tie you up in knots as independent candidates and as an independent party? They keep you very busy just getting on the ballot. For 90% of this election, we have spent our time, our resources, and our staff focused entirely on that battle, and we've largely won it. So now, in the last 3 weeks, basically, now is the time to really run this campaign. But what is so exciting is that even before we started, while we were still fighting to just get on the ballot, we weren't getting out the word. But the word spread all by itself, and we began to come up in the polls from undetectable to 1% to 2%, and now we're going to keep pushing that up. And you know what happens? Because if we can double that again and get from 2% to 4% plus a little more, if we can get to 5%, it would be absolutely staggering. Look, even at 2%, it's nothing less than miraculous, and you should all be proud of having done that. If we lock in at 2%, this is better, this is like 20 times better than what we've been able to do as the Green Party in the last decade. So 2% is a terrific achievement. We need to lock in. But if we can double it, plus a little bit, and get to 5%, we are on the ballot from the minute we hit the ground. We are running. In every race going forward, not just the presidential, but also our local partisan races, we are on the ballot from the get-go if we get to that 5% number. And the other thing we get is, as Cheri mentioned, $20 million to launch the next presidential campaign. So think of it like this. It could be the best investment you ever have made in your life. If we can raise $500,000, and we're on the way to that, but $500,000 would give us a really strong final campaign. That means basically doubling what we did in the first half of the race. During the primary, we raised $500,000. This was absolutely record-breaking for the Green Party. Yeah, and thank you all for that. Thank you so much. So now I'm asking you to do it again, to give what you gave and call everybody you know who's not here and ask them to do the same thing. Because if we can raise that $500,000 again for this final 4 weeks, we think we are in a very good position. We're in a very good striking zone to actually reach that 5%. If we can hire full staffing with a $500,000 campaign, we think we are very well positioned to get to 5%. If we get to 5%, boy, they will not know what is coming at them at the start of the next election cycle. So it means if you can contribute $5, you're a hero. If you can contribute $50, you're a hero. If you can contribute $500, or in fact, $2,500, that's the limit. that is legally allowable, so I mention it in case there's someone walking around the room who has just change overflowing from your pockets and you don't know what to do with it. But you're a hero, whatever you contribute. And if you call 10 of your friends and tell them to do the same thing, you're 10 times as much of a hero just for spreading the word. And that's the other thing that all of us can do, because there really are 90 million people out there that are waiting to hear about this campaign. And that includes 36 million students and recent graduates who are indentured servants until they hear about this campaign. And they, as you know, are very well positioned to get the word out. No one is better networked, better at Facebook and Twitter and all that to get the word out. And by the way, for Facebook, it's just Jill Stein. For Twitter, it's at Jill Stein 2012. And our website, as you probably know, is jillstein.org. If you go to the website and you get the newsletter, sign up for the newsletter, it's a great way to get the word out. Because if we go viral, if we get the word out, we can completely transform politics. In this election, think about the people in Tahrir Square. No one in their right mind expected that they were going to boot out the entrenched military dictatorship that had been there for 40 years, but they decided as young people, they did not have a future with the status quo. They got up, they went out and they said, we are going to own this country and make it a democracy and take our future back. And that's what we can do now. In this election, we have an opportunity like we never have had before. We are at the breaking point for people, peace, the planet, our democracy, our civil liberties, the climate, you name it. The clock is ticking, but we have the power in this election to get the word out at a time when people have been more hungry for exactly what we're offering than ever before. And it is a win. It's a win for us no matter what. If we turn the White House into a greenhouse and we win the office, well, that will be totally awesome. But if we don't do that, if we fall short, if you're ever going to win it, you've got to begin it. And it is a win. It is a win simply to regain our political voice and our political courage so the world knows that in the United States of America, the people have returned to the political stage once more, and we can turn that breaking point into a tipping point and take back our democracy and the future we deserve. Thank you all so very much for being here. Thank you.
Let's hear it one more time for the next President of the United States of America.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Thank you.
So, before we close it out, we have a very special guest, our last comedian of the night, to come up here and tell one joke, and his assistant. I'd like to bring up Guillermo Santos from Mutter Street. And the award-winning comedian who has agreed to assist, Lee Camp.
He's busy with video games, so you gotta wait a minute.
There's your mic. Okay, one puppy.
And what are we doing, young comic?
Well, I had an idea. Since a lot of people would agree with me on this, that Mitt Romney and Obama do not have a brain, I thought of giving some questions that you would obviously need your brain to do.
Uh-oh. That's a problem.
So I asked you this question that you might not be able to figure out.
Okay.
Imagine this. You're a bus driver. You go to your first stop and pick up 38 people. Then you go to your next stop and pick up 75 people. Then you go next stop. 18 people get off. 13 people get on. 17 people get off. How old is the bus driver?
I think your vocabulary is a little better than mine, because I didn't follow. I don't know is the answer. I don't know.
How old is the bus driver?
I said I don't know.
Give a number.
Oh, 12.
How old are you?
32.
Then the bus driver's 46, since I said you were the bus driver.
All right. You beat me.
Let's give it up for Guillermo Santos and Lee Camp.
The number one fear of Americans is public speaking. He conquered it at 10, or what is it?
Yes. And, all right, Guillermo, let's hear for Guillermo. Yes, you must know how terrified I was when everybody signed up for different talent at Moffitt School, and Guillermo decided to pick a comedian. They had never heard of a child choosing comedy as their talent. But anyway, so one more time for Lee Camp and Guillermo Santos. So Lee has so graciously decided that tonight, if you buy any of his books, he will donate all of the proceeds to the Jill Stein for President campaign. And CDs. You know, in this battle and in this fight, you need as much joy as possible and laughter, and you'll definitely get it with Lee. All right, Lee. So, Jill and I have a busy day tomorrow, and so do all of you. Because tomorrow at, I have to look for the time here. What time? 4 p.m. Tomorrow at 4 p.m., I'm going to see all of you at Eisenhower Park. And if Guillermo was able to skip school, you can skip work. You know, during the civil rights movement, people were tired. They did several different things. They worked hard. They risked their lives. They spent all their money, and they filled the paddy wagons. And so you here tonight can join us at 4 o'clock tomorrow at Eisenhower Park as Jill Stein and Cheri Honkala go in and participate in the debates. Will you be there? No longer in our free country, where there's supposedly a democracy, are they gonna keep somebody like Dr. Jill Stein and Cheri Honkala, who are on 85% of the ballots across the country, from not getting into the debates? Are you with me? So the guys are just going to have to move over and let the mothers in. And I'm sure that they're going to do this in the interest of free speech and democracy for everybody in our country. So we need you to meet us at 4 p.m. sharp, come rain or high water, at Hempstead Turnpike entrance. We will begin the beginning of democracy and the third party, the Green Party, being allowed into the debates tomorrow. Join us. We will make history tomorrow. You will be there with us, and we will take back our country. I want to thank each and every one of you for coming here tonight. be sure and leave on out of this place absolutely broke as you give us your last dollar. But we're going to do it in the interest of saving the planet for the next generation and other generations to come. Thank each and every one of you. Have a good night.